The world reflects what you first discover within. There's a wonderful book. It's called Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. Now, Russell Conwell, he was a Baptist minister, a lawyer, and a writer. He was also the founder of Temple University in Philadelphia, which was founded by many millions of dollars which he had earned by traveling and giving his famous Acres of Diamonds speech. I acknowledge that what he did was display the conscious use of the two gifts, speech and mind. It was stated in the Hermetica that we were bestowed two gifts. They were speech and mind, and that these two gifts are equal to immortality. Now, if we look around this world, we see the reflections of how we have made use of these two gifts. And so, it is up to us to discover within ourselves how we truly desire to live, and to use these two gifts to experience the life that we want, beyond any doubt. So, the Acres of Diamonds story goes that there was a farmer who had heard tales about how others had earned millions of dollars by discovering diamond mines. These tales excited the farmer to the point where he sold his own farm and spent the rest of his life wandering Africa looking for the diamonds which he never found. Meanwhile, the man who had bought the farm happened to be crossing the small stream on the property one day when he noticed a flash of light inside of it. He bent down and picked up a stone. Now, it was a good-sized stone, and having admired it, he brought it to his home and placed it on his fireplace mantel. Several weeks later, a visitor to his home picked up the stone, looked closely at it, and nearly fainted. He asked the farmer if he knew what he had found. And when the farmer said no, that he thought it was a piece of crystal, the visitor revealed to him that he had found one of the largest diamonds ever discovered. The farmer who had trouble believing that mentioned to the man that this creek was full of such stones, not as large as the one on the mantel, but sprinkled generously throughout the creek bottom. It turns out the farm the first farmer had sold, so that he might go out and find diamond mines, ends up being one of the most productive diamond mines on the entire African continent. The first farmer had actually owned it free and clear, acres of diamonds, but he sold it for practically nothing in order to look for them elsewhere. For many years, I searched outside for answers, only to come to the realization that it was first found within myself before it reflected outside. It seems that life by design guides us back to finding it within ourselves first, before it is reflected on the outside. When we study this kind of information, we realize we are reflecting it. It shows up within first, and then perhaps a video or a book shows up, or maybe someone shares with us a message, which seems to further encourage what we already know, such as the law. So the acres of diamonds is within you, and it is infinite. You reveal your diamonds by realizing that you have everything inside. And from this premise, the ways of how it works out gets taken care of by a power higher than the intellect. You see, your mind is infinite, and you explore it through imagination. In the Kabbalion, it states the all is mind. The universe is mental. It explains that the all, which we may know under terms like the material universe, the phenomena of life, is spirit. And it is an infinite, universal, and living mind. The mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This mind of all is infinite, and we are safe to explore it in our imagination, to discover how we want to live and allow ourselves to live how we truly want to live. And anytime we have any doubts or questions, we can go within ourselves and have a conversation with ourselves. And we'll discover that we already know how to get there. See, when we experience the world of the five senses, it is important to acknowledge that all of this is sourced from the mind of the all, in which through your desires and visions, you experience portions of the infinite nature of the all. From my experience, everything I've ever put my mind to happened, and you and I are no different. As you accept and trust that you already know inside, the acres of diamonds is within. And upon introspection, I realize that the answers that I found outside, although they had appeared outside, there was a knowing prior, and the other person showed up to reflect my inner knowing. This is very important, so I'll echo it again. There was an inner knowing, and another person showed up to reflect this inner knowing. So upon working with this information, we find that these answers show up within first, and the outer reflects the answers that are found within first. Reflect back on experiences in your life where you've had conversations or came across some information. And as you experience that information, it seemed to point you in the direction that you already knew it. When we were growing up, we called this street knowledge. Now I call it intuition. So the diamonds are within you, and the light refracts outwards as information. In the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it mentions how the light in the tablets shall respond to the light within you. The light within you refracts and reflects upon the tablets, and they acknowledge and further encourage realizations within you. These kinds of experiences, which were always there, we become more conscious and aware of them easier and faster as we accept that the acres of diamonds is within you. As we discussed in Sunday's video, quoting Neville, your beliefs, your fixed attitudes of mind, constantly modify your consciousness as it is reflected on the mirror of your mind. Your consciousness, modified by your beliefs, objectifies itself in the conditions of your world. And so let's encourage this idea. The acres of diamonds is within you. It is, was, and shall always be within you. And so from my experience, I found the following 3 simple ideas to further acknowledge that the acres of diamonds is within. Number 1, solitude. Number 2, feeling. And number 3, awareness. So let's explore these. Number 1, solitude. I believe it's important to acknowledge that you are your best friend. Have conversations with yourself about what you believe, and if what you believe about yourself, others, and the world is helpful to how you truly want to live. Know yourself, the formless self, and also know all you desire, to which to give form to that formless self as how you desire to live. Reveal any subconscious beliefs of disharmony. Bring them to peace via conversations with yourself, and you'll further build this relationship and trust with yourself. And it'll be easy for you to look beyond restrictive beliefs, and nothing shall ever hold you back as nothing ever did. And if you're going to seek those who fan your flames, as Rumi once said. Speaking of which, number 2, feeling. As we accept and trust ourselves, we also understand that our feelings speak to us. It is important to not shame or condemn the feelings. I like to observe them and understand them. And seek the feelings that sets your heart on fire, that encourages what you desire, that stimulates visions in your imagination of what you want. And then we have number 3, awareness. When I look over my life, I realize that I had identified with many beliefs that I picked up along the way that were not true to how I desire to live, that were creating unnecessary suffering. And so by bringing awareness onto this programming, it facilitated a higher degree of inner peace. And from this higher degree of inner peace, I found that it was easier to listen to myself and trust myself, thus ascending beyond where overthinking does not reach. So the art, again, is to not shame, condemn, or deny, but rather understand what we have been subconsciously saying I am too, in which understanding and bringing awareness to them dissolves them. I'll put a link in the description to last Thursday's video, in which we discuss 14 ways of questioning the validity of certain beliefs, and if they're no longer resonant, instantly dissolve them. For me, I found that by having a conversation with them, like I would with a therapist, coach, consultant, mastermind group, builds a deeper degree of relationship with ourselves while also discovering attributes, so we could say diamonds, of what we want to see more of in our lives. And we further encourage them with autosuggestion. And what also ends up happening as a person lives this way, a person lives from a higher degree of self-confidence, and authentically so, because as they do this, they realize that they're able to do this with themselves via inner conversation. And from there, we find we operate effortlessly in flow on the bridge of incidents to realizing our visions. And so I encourage you to do what you love, follow your heart and intuition, and live how you truly desire to live. As a matter of fact, it's one of the greatest ways of discovering that you have it all within yourself, by committing to what you desire and seeing it into existence. So you find your answers by going within. Practice each day learning about yourself, your infinite world within, and discovering the diamond answers within to your questions. Build a relationship with yourself. Speak with yourself lovingly. The outer reflects what you find within. Ways that perhaps others might have not yet discovered to grow a business or live whatever kind of lifestyle. And that's fine, because each vision and path to a vision is insightful. As a matter of fact, that's one of my favorite things to do, to have conversations with others on how they got to where they are. And so this is another wonderful thing about the world we live in today. Millions of people are sharing their stories of how they got to where they are, and they're fascinating conversations. By being your best friend, you understand what they're saying to a deeper degree, and you'll understand what it means to you. You intuitively understand what people are communicating. And we find we also encourage others to do the same by our being. They feel it when they're around you. They seem to come up with answers to their questions on their own. They know what they want. They know how to get there in your presence, even when you're imagining them. I can assure you this shall be your experience as you inspire others to reveal their acres of diamonds within. Call it telepathy or whatever you'd like, and if any words flow out of your mouth, you'll find that they seem to encourage others being how they truly desire to be, like Russell Conwell did for millions who have enjoyed and benefited from his speech over the years. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an autosuggestion to further encourage. You can say, my vision is the compass for listening to and trusting myself. All the answers are found within the diamond mind of the all, which I'm one with and free to explore, to reveal the diamonds of ideas, insights, and perspectives to bring forth my vision in a flow-based, blissful way. Every day, more so, I listen to myself and trust myself beyond opinions to reveal the facts in my imagination to live from. This inspires others to also do the same. I recognize I know what I want and how to make it happen, as I always did and now encourage more so. As I continue to honor and trust my intuition, I realize I was always my best friend and experience this relationship deepening each day to accept that the world exists within me, in which the outer is an expression of my consciously desirable inner speech. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.